What's going on? Today we're building some strut jigs. I got my pieces of metal. The race car is up on jack stands, so it's ready. I got the suspension removed from the passenger side. And we're gonna attempt to do this right the first time because that metal is not cheap. So my overall plan here is to take this piece of 2-inch, and that's gonna be my long piece that goes underneath the car. And the bigger piece, I'm gonna cut a couple pieces off of it so I have sliders for my strut jig to sit on. That way they're adjustable. Alright, now that I got my 6-foot piece cut, I'm gonna come over here to the 12-inch piece I cut. I cut 2 of these, one for each side. And we're gonna drill some holes so that I can run a bolt through to hold the strut mount in place. Alright, now we kind of got our sliding adjustable base on. Now I just need to make the T that comes off where the strut's actually going to sit in. Alright, you can kind of see I got this thing mocked up here. I went ahead and just welded the nuts onto this side after drilling holes. That way I can hold the strut mount in place. And then I made this a little taller than I anticipated, just because the car's sitting on jack stands on the top rung, so it's actually taller than I wanted it to be. But worst case scenario, if I ever keep this thing and want to use it again, I can just cut this piece down. But it is going to have a adjusting sliding piece of square tubing that sits in it. So that'll be good. All right, so this is what we got so far. Got all the nuts welded on. I know they're not pretty, it's just tacked. But yeah, I mean, everything's going good. Now I just need to put the smaller square tubing inside there to make the adjuster, and then I need to cut a hole so that this strut will slide through, and then we can adjust for height. Alright, little update here. So I got a hole saw that's the same diameter as the back of the strut. The only problem with that is I went all the way through not thinking that the front was a smaller diameter. So that leaves me with this, and I need to make a spacer for it, and something to screw on to hold it. So I bought this little pipe I'm gonna have to cut up as a spacer and then put a washer on the end, then put the nut on the end to hold this thing up. Look at that. And there you have it. It's all done. Got the nut on there, the spacer, the strut standing up. All the bolts are tightened down so everything's holding. I built this little T just so it won't tip over. I only really need it for one side. That way I can take it off if I need to slide around, or just kind of easy disassembly. All right, we got the jig inside the car with the strut mounted up. I still need to cut the tab off and then wait for the piping or tubing, whatever you want to call it, to come in, and then we will start fabbing that up. That's probably going to do it for this video. I still got to wait on some parts to show up, and then as soon as those show up, I will start making the second video, but at least you know how to make a strut jig. This was a little fun project, really simple and easy. And not everything has to be square. The only thing you need to make sure is square is the upright or the T-post, because that's what you're referencing off of. But I think that'll do it, and I will see y'all in the next ones. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good one.